Fingerboard rails can be expensive. Even though a fingerboard rail like this is made out of metal and it's very high quality, it's still a little bit expensive. So today I'll be showing you guys how you can make a very simple metal fingerboard rail for under $10. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So this is a fingerboard rail I got from IPE Toys, and this is very high quality, but it does cost money. One of the main reasons why I actually went for quite a while without actually having a metal fingerboard rail was just because of the price. I wouldn't say fingerboard rails are super expensive, but they can still be anywhere from like $15 to $40 for a decent fingerboard rail, which is definitely expensive. But what if you can make multiple different types of rails for under $10? So I went to Home Depot the other day and I found this piece of aluminum for only $8 Canadian. They had a piece of aluminum very similar to this, except for it was completely solid, but it was a little more expensive, and I also bought this stuff for a specific reason because of this. So this rail that I got is about 12 inches worth of metal, and this piece is 8 feet, which means we can pretty much make 8 of those out of this one piece of metal. All for cheaper than most fingerboard rails actually are. So let's begin making this. So about the only tools that I think we'll need is a hacksaw, some super glue, and maybe an X-Acto knife, but I'll get to that part later. The first thing we're gonna do is mark how long we want our rail to be, and then we're ready to cut it. I lightly clamp this piece of metal in the vise with some foam on the edges just so I don't really make any marks on the other piece of aluminum. So now we are ready to cut this. So after we use the hacksaw to cut this, you might notice the edges are pretty sharp and also kind of rough. So we're gonna take a metal file just to clean them up a little bit. Clean them up as in just the one side. So we now got the edges looking fresh. Now we need to figure out what we're gonna do for the base of this rail so it actually stays upright. One idea I had was cutting these two pieces of wood like this, and then we can kind of just place it in place like that. I'll explain what we're placing in place before we place it in place, and then I'll tell you what we're gonna place in place. So then our rail will be sitting like this, which looks honestly pretty good. Just need to give it a quick little sand on the edges. There we go. We also need to do it to the other one, so I'll see if I can just do this. I was thinking I could maybe make that like a cut and then I would catch the one that's finished, but you guys can't even see the difference anyways, so never mind. So here's the plan for what we're gonna do to attach this to here to then have a rail. These are called popsicle sticks. You've probably heard of them. We shall cut the popsicle sticks. All of them. Time lapse, I guess. Would you look at that? Now my idea is if we glue these together, they'll have a very tight fit inside here, so we might not even need to use glue to attach this to here. But first we need to glue these together, so I'm just gonna use some Gorilla Glue because it dries super thin, and hot glue is also just time consuming. We gotta finish it faster.
And you did it right from the start.
This is starting to come together. Probably one of the cleanest rails I've ever made. I would say that was probably the hardest part, and now we can pretty much just attach it to these and we are done. Now you could attach it just by gluing it on top, but that's definitely not gonna be as strong as actually gluing it inside the wood. So now we just need to figure out how we're gonna cut out a little slot for this to sit in on both sides, and we are pretty much finished.
Missing someone, is as normal, missing someone.
This piece of wood is just the end of a 2x4 and it's actually very soft with this razor blade, so I think I might just see if I can cut it all the way through. Absolutely perfect. Definitely did not expect this to go all the way through that pretty easily. That only took a few minutes to get that done. So now let's do the same to that side. This rail is finally complete and I love how it turned out. Normally when you buy fingerboard rail, the entire thing is made out of metal, but I honestly like the wood look more. It just has those like two parts to it. So I'm excited to see how this feels. Time for a session. Also, if you guys were wondering why I posted my last video later in the day, that is because I'm posting it right now at like 10 o'clock at night. Available for public. Save. Done. Sorry for the late upload. There's no better feeling than fresh aluminum on a fingerboard obstacle. Like, it's just so smooth right away. If I'm being honest, this is probably my new favorite fingerboard obstacle out of all of them. Black River just got kind of old, you know? But for real though, I love how this turned out. Like, it looks so clean and it's also so solid as well. When you're on it as well, it's like completely silent, which has like a super cool feel. It just feels so smooth. That's pretty much it for this project. I really hope some of you guys make this because it's super simple, very cheap, and it will only take you probably about an hour to make, and you can make as many as you want. The cool thing with this concept is you can bend it pretty much however you want. So if you have a very specific shape of a rail you want to make, you can just make it and bend it with this and you will have it. Thanks for watching this week's Fingerboard Friday, and I'll see you in the next video.